Welcome to your York, Maine driving tour. It is a beautiful day, and I am your guide, Cam Avery. We're going to start the tour off in York Harbor, starting right on the 103 bridge. Now, to your right, you have York Harbor leading out to the Atlantic Ocean. And then on your left, you have the Fisherman's Walk and also the Wiggly Bridge walking trail, which is an amazing walk. If you have time with your family, if you're visiting, definitely want to check out this walk. It leads to some nice wooded trails. Here's the parking right on your right here. Now, you will notice that if you are not a York resident, then you'll have to park a little bit further up. As you can see, some people walking in. So we're heading up here towards the harbor and towards the beaches because it's a beautiful day, and I want to show you both Longsands and Shortsands Beach. If you're new to the channel, my name's Cam Avery. I'm a local resident and real estate agent with the Avery Realty Group and Keller Williams Coastal Realty. This channel is all about relocating to the towns of southern Maine and New Hampshire, and so if that's you, definitely hit that subscribe button and make sure to like this channel. I truly appreciate your support. And come on, who doesn't like being outside on a beautiful summer day in one of southern Maine's most quintessential American beach towns? So if you were to veer right here, you'd head down to the York Harbor Beach, which is actually a private beach for York residents only. So if you are a York resident, you'll have access to special parking for that beach. And on your left, you have a historic inn called the York Harbor Inn. It looks like they're hosting a wedding there today because there was a ton of people over and parking here. Really a beautiful spot for a wedding. There's a little park on the other side of the inn, and you just have a gorgeous ocean view. Beautiful, historic, coastal New England architecture all along this road. And each road to the right and to the left, I mean, look at this church here on the left. Beautiful stone architecture, historic church in York, Maine. It was a high tide when I was driving, right around noontime. And so you'll see coming up into Longsands that at high tide, a lot of the beach is taken up, and so most people congregate to the far side of Longsands at high tide, but at low tide, everything empties out and the entire beach fills up. There's a beautiful property on the left that's for sale. Just one of the coolest properties in York, I think. So I'm curious, comment below if you've ever been to York before. Let me know what your favorite part of vacationing in York was. Or maybe you live here and you just wanted to take a drive by. Maybe you used to vacation here and this is just bringing back nostalgia and memories. Comment below, what is your favorite memory of being in York, Maine? When I was in my 20s, I actually worked for a construction company called Shoreline Construction, and we did a ton of work on a lot of houses in York. And so everywhere I drive, I see a house that we worked at. Camp Eaton is one of the projects that we have. And now here we are entering Longsands Beach, which is a 7-mile stretch of beach that is truly beautiful. Here's a park on the left with RVs. So obviously one of the more affordable options if you're looking to be at the beach and own property here. And as you can see, the tide is quite high. Still plenty of open parking spaces on this side of the beach because, like I had mentioned earlier, there's really not a whole lot of beach until the tide goes out on this side. Here's a York Surf Club. They just renovated that hotel and it is absolutely beautiful inside. plenty of places to stay right on Longsands. And so if you're looking to be right on the water, there's plenty of hotels, plenty of options. And obviously, if you're in for more of a custom rental, you can always do VRBO or Airbnb. Plenty of really, really great options that are either right on the beach or within walking distance. So this was a Friday mid-morning in the end of June, and so as you can see, this portion of beach is actually still quite empty and available. It's only when we get on the other side of Longsands does the parking fill up, because that's where everyone's congregated because of the high tide. I wanted to let you know, too, that we actually created a complete relocation guide to southern Maine. And so if you are watching this video because you're seriously considering moving to southern Maine, make sure to download that. There's a link right in the description. It's totally free, and it's got some really great information about crime rate, school district, and things that we really don't have time to get into in our other videos. Heading down to the beach. Famous seafood restaurant on your right. And here's the part of the beach where everyone has congregated because it's where all the sandy shore is. They just recently renovated a lot of the shoreline sidewalk and created some step downs to the beach, which is really nice. Another thing that they did a few years ago was install a completely new public restroom facility in the center of Longsands, where you see that American flag standing high, and that is a really, really nice. I mean, if you've ever been to the beach before, you know the public restrooms can be a little bit sketchy, but York by far has some of the nicest public restrooms that you will find at a beach in this area. Here they are right on your right. Surf Shop, Liquid Dreams on your left. If you're into surfing. I've always thought about getting into surfing, but I've never done it yet. I went once. My friends convinced me to try paddleboarding, and it was fun. I fell about 100 times. Finally got it like once, right at the end of the day. Stone's Throw, an awesome restaurant, and then Longsands General Store if you're just looking for a quick sandwich or a quick bite to eat. They have a famous breakfast bulky, which is essentially just a breakfast sandwich on a bulky roll, but they're really good. Ice cream, the Blinky Cone is what the locals refer to that place as, because the cone blinks, if you can figure that out. If you look out to your right and see that rocky stretch with a lot of houses on it, that is Nubble Point and is where we're heading next. It's where the Nubble Lighthouse is located, and it's also home to some of the nicest properties in York. The most expensive home that sold last year was on Lighthouse Watch. I believe it closed for $5.25 million, and it is right near the Nubble. Beautiful Nubble views. I toured it with a client and honestly was just blown away by the layout of that property. One of the nice things, too, about owning property on Nubble Point is you're situated essentially right in between both Longsands and Shortsands, and because of the height and the elevation of the point, you really do not have to worry about coastal flooding. I mean, you can see here the elevation really helps. You really don't have to worry about your home flooding in terms of winter storms and damage like that. Worked on that house. And we worked on that house over there as well. And one of the best parts about my job is getting to help people essentially find their vacation home. You know, it's not as much stress as finding your actual primary residence, so it's a lot of fun finding a vacation property, especially when you're talking about being in one of the most beautiful places in the country, in my opinion, and I really think one of the best beach towns in Maine. Great thing about York is that you're really only about an hour to Boston. You're about 45 minutes to Portland, Maine. You're about an hour to Alton Bay, Lake Winnipesaukee, and you're about 2.5 hours to North Conway and the White Mountains of New Hampshire. It's just a truly ideal location to be able to launch from York and go and explore all the other parts that southern Maine and Seacoast, New Hampshire have to offer. Here's a father and daughter team that thought it would be a good idea to scooter in the middle of the road. I thought she was going to go down a little bit earlier, but thankfully they made it off into a driveway safely. I always feel like I'm so critical of bicyclists if you've listened to me before, but that's just one of my pet peeves after working in construction for 10 years, driving big trucks on these small seacoast roads and having armies of cyclists on them. I'm sorry if you're a bicyclist, but oh my goodness. I feel like I've almost crashed so many times trying to make it around or stopping. And here we have the Nubble Lighthouse, which, by the way, is one of the most photographed lighthouses in the country. They actually put a picture of it on one of the Hubble spacecrafts that they put into space in hopes that it would be found by an alien. And so I guess my thought is if aliens are going to see the Nubble, you probably should see it too. Great parking lot here, plenty of places to park. You can walk down, take pictures by the rocks. Unfortunately, this wonderful couple from Massachusetts felt like they didn't need a parking spot, so they decided to just park in the middle of the road and try to take a picture of the Nubble on their phone. Oh, man. Now, beautiful panoramic Atlantic views. You can see all the way up to Kennebunkport there at the very top. Kennebunkport Wells area. And they've got ice cream here. You can get lobster rolls, obviously. If you wanted to make a day of just coming to Nubble Point, you could eat here, just enjoy your time at the lighthouse, and potentially even walk down to Longsands or Shortsands, although it would be easier to just drive. The density of homes on Nubble Point is really quite insane, in my opinion. If you take a left on any of these side streets, there's just houses upon houses stacked on top of each other because everybody wants to be near the Nubble, and it is truly, I think, one of the best locations. Here is some of the really nice high-end houses on the right. Excuse me. They're just building this one here, and then Lighthouse Watch, where, as I was talking about, where the most expensive house in New York last year sold, is right down that right little private cul-de-sac. If you're digging these tunes, put you in the summer vibe, make sure to hit that like button. I know it's small. Now, hold on a second. So, if you just saw that, what that was there was a young guy and a landscaping crew, and then there was a guy who's probably in his 70s or 80s just with a push mower out there mowing his lawn. It was like the polar opposite. It's like the younger generation that pays people to mow their lawn, and then the older generation of the Nubble that's been coming here for 70, 80 years that I'm going to mow my lawn myself because that's just how I do it. Oh, that struck me funny when I was driving by because I saw that the young guy out there with his zero-turn mower and then the old guy pushing his lawnmower up the hill, sweat pouring down his face. And I said, yeah, that is a guy who's been coming to York since he was a kid. Take you on a little side road here. Little shortcut. Little cool spot. Just do not drive straight. Okay, no matter what. Do not drive straight. You have to turn here or else you're going to be in trouble. Blue skies. I mean, come on. This is just as good as it gets. Southern Maine, summertime. Got some clouds in the sky, but man, we're talking about perfect weather to be at the beach. This is one of the nicest roads to be at in the Nubble, in my opinion, because you have amazing views, and yet you're complete walking distance to Shortsands and downtown York. I love the wraparound farmers porches that almost all of these houses seem to have because they're just taking advantage of this bold Atlantic view. And on your right there, you can see Shortsands, which, as the name implies, is shorter than Longsands. The nice thing about Shortsands is that you have a park there. You've got a playground. You've got an arcade, you've got downtown, and so Longsands is where you go if you just want to be at the beach. If you want options, if you want other things to do, then Shortsands is a great option. So here's the park on your right, little gazebo there as well. There's basketball courts coming up right here, then there's the playground as well. I'm going to take you into the parking lot inside of Shortsands. So if you do plan on visiting, this is where you're going to want to park, right in here. In this parking lot here, you also have the bowling alley, the arcade, Funorama. think we'd all agree that coming to York is the epitome of fun-o-rama. I'm sorry, that was a very stupid joke. You'll have to forgive me. Some great restaurants here, definitely where the majority of the nightlife in York is during the summertime. The Goldenrod, ice cream, some shops here, sunglasses. And then on your right here, you have one of the entrances to York's Wild Kingdom, which is a zoo and amusement park. Great place to take the kids if you're looking for something to do for the day. If you're up for the week, then definitely you have to check out York's Wild Kingdom. They got baseball fields on your left. And then this road just loops back to Longsands. So we're going to skip Nubble Point, which is to our left. And we're just going to head straight from Shortsands to Longsands. And you'll see that it's actually very, very close to each other. And now we're back at Longsands, and we're going to make our way down the beach again and into the town center of York so that you can see that as well. Would not mind being on one of those second floor decks, just hanging out, enjoying the summer. No idea what was going on here, but had a couple of fire trucks out. Wanted to mention too, if you've made it this far into the video, you should definitely check out some of our other driving tours. We have a driving tour of York in the winter during a snowstorm. It definitely looks a lot different. Some tours around Kittery and Kittery Point, as well as Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So if you're into driving tours, you like watching driving tours, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It's one of the best ways, I think, to get a feel for what it's really like to be in the neighborhood, too, if you're thinking about moving here. And here we are in the town center. Some office buildings, some new condos on your right here. Bagel basket, great bagels and breakfast sandwiches. York Hospital is going to be on your left here, as well as the fire station. And then just some shops. Focus 244, which is a photo gallery, gas station. All of your necessities are going to be here in the town center. Here's Town Hall on your right. And we are making our way out of the town center and back on to Route 1. Which is where you're going to want to head if you want to head down to Kittery, if you want to head down to Portsmouth, or if you wanted to head up towards Ogunquit or Wells, Maine, or if you need to hop on the highway if you're heading home, or if you wanted to explore something further like Portland, or if you want to head down into the White Mountains of New Hampshire. So I hope you enjoyed this driving tour. I hope you got something out of it and learned a little bit about the town. It was a pleasure being your guide today, and I want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure to watch our other videos and subscribe to the channel. This is Cam Avery again, local real estate agent and resident, and most importantly, your Seacoast local guide today on this awesome, beautiful summer sunny drive around York, Maine.